Hello everybody, this is Mateo with my next Let's Play, number 13 I believe, unlucky 13. However, I think I'll do good with this one, or however, yay, I'm already failing on grammar. Yay, so much for doing good/well on this. Either way, this is my 13th Let's Play of Earthbound 0 and or Mother. Well, it's called Mother as well in Japan, and the name is used interchangeably. I personally always called it Mother. So I'm just going to use both of the names of the game and the title for each video, so that basically everybody knows that it's the same thing. Anyways, we are currently naming our characters. I'm going to use the traditional names that they're supposed to have. Yeah, there was Ninten earlier, looked an awful lot like Ness from Earthbound, and then there was Anna, who looked a bit like, what was her name? Paula. There we go. Paula from Earthbound. And then there's Lloyd, who looks a lot like Jeff. And Teddy, who actually looks pretty original. And it also asks us our favorite food. So I'm thinking, like the Italian that I am, I'm going to go with pizza. So yay. And with that, we're ready to play. I mean, that's everything that you need to do to start up the game. Then they give you a little backstory on what's going on. Basically what happened before Ninten was born. In fact, about 70 years before he was. And in the early 1900s. So it could be anywhere between 1900 to 1920. I think in Mother 1+2, which was a bonus pack of both Mother and Earthbound together in a Game Boy Advance game, or some type of Game Boy game. They put a specific year in there, and I believe it was the 1920 something, or maybe 1910-ish, somewhere around that range. So yeah, basically just in the early 1900s. And George and Maria both left, and now we are here. Now it's around the 1980s, maybe 1990s, when lamps come to life and attack you. Go to the future. Knew we shouldn't have messed with those computer giving robots artificial intelligence. Otherwise, stuff like iRobot and this will happen. So yay, we've only caused their own demise. We're being attacked by such things as Lamp as well. Luckily, however, the Lamp only has about 6 to 8 HP. I don't remember exactly what, and you really shouldn't lose against it. And if you do, then wow, you are incredibly unlucky. So you'll notice that, much like Earthbound, the enemies move around the map, and you can just run into them to fight them. However, that really isn't the case. In fact, these are the only 3 enemies in which you do, well, kind of. There are some story enemies that you'll see and you'll have to fight them, but for the most part, you're just going to get into random battles like any other RPG when walking around the overworld. I mean, for instance, it's like Final Fantasy, sort of, in that respect. However, this game really isn't a lot like other RPGs. I mean, for one, it's based in, you know, well, it's more realistic, although it does have fantasy elements. However, it is just, it's not some gigantic fantasy world. Well, no. It's just a lot different, and if you enjoy RPGs, then I really do suggest you play this as well. However, the thing is, if you don't like difficulty, this game is actually pretty difficult. And if you don't like grinding, then you might not like this game either, because there are about 2 or 3 times that I will suggest you go on a grinding session that'll last you about 45 minutes to an hour. Or maybe not that long, it probably just felt that long. However, still. Oh man, I'm not talking about the enemies at all. That was a doll, kind of like a mini-boss. Fight it, you know, whatever. But also, if you haven't been spoiled on this game in the slightest, and you want to play it, I recommend you stop watching the video right now, and you just play the game on your own, and maybe use this and the future videos in order to see, like, what you have to do on certain parts. But for the most part, play it completely blind. I mean, that's the way that I played this game. Saw bits and pieces of it, maybe, when I saw Chugga Conway's Let's Play of this. just to kind of see what the game was like. But after like at part 5, I stopped watching, and then I just played it on my own, and it was great. I mean, this game is amazing, and you really don't want to spoil different story things for it, otherwise that'll kind of ruin the game. And that kind of is the same with other games, but you know, it's just this game especially. I mean, you really don't know what's going to happen, and although there are some things that you really just have to know how to do it, for instance, this part right here, when you have to find the basement key, you don't exactly know what to do. You just kind of have to know or look up a guide for it. So yeah, but for the most part, I mean, this really is a great game. And your mom moves out of the way, so you can go outside finally. So we need to find the basement key, and if we talk to the dog, because we can talk to animals, because our magic powers allow us to do that. You know, of course they're magic powers. This is an RPG. Somebody has to have magic. And, well, almost all of your characters do have magic. You only have one magic spell right now. Well, technically 2. You have Telepathy and Life Up Alpha. Life Up Alpha is your basic cure spell that'll heal about 30 to 40. No, around 30 HP. And Telepathy will allow you to read the minds of certain things. But only certain things. It's not like you could walk up to a random NPC and read their mind, I believe. But we got some bread, because apparently keeping bread in a present in the basement will not make it stale, make it become stale or anything. You know, it's still completely edible. But anyways, I have to talk about this guy, the hippie. If you'll notice, he's actually my icon for this Let's Play, where I've started switching out the icon with my favorite character from each game for the Let's Play. And, well, this is the hippie. Mainly because of, I'm grinding, by the way. I'm currently level 3, but I'm going to grind a little more, just showing off the enemies around Ninten's house. But this attack right here, I was just playing this, and I saw that it's like, your mother is calling for you, and it has 2 different effects. If it does work, then you'll lose some offensive points, and if it doesn't work, you'll actually gain some. But when I saw it, I gained some, which made it even funnier because I thought that he helped you. So, that enemy is one of my favorite enemies in the game. And it is just, it was so funny when I first saw him. Anyways, next up we have the crows, which are synonymous to the ones in Earthbound, in which they take your items. If you're wondering how I got a magic herb, it's because a snake before it dropped it and I got it. And yeah. So, yep, this is one of the times that I suggest you grind, but not for like an hour time. Maybe till you're like level 5 or 6 or around there. Up next is Wally, the other hard enemy in this area, along with the hippie. Oh, I'm almost dead, wow. Mainly because it can raise its own offense and become really dangerous, and it has a bit of an HP. Nothing too extreme, but still something difficult. Life Up takes 3 PP, by the way. And he gets a smash attack, which isn't that bad right now. However, they can get very bad. They're basically a critical hit. But, you know, beat the crap out of the man and then he'll regain his senses. Yay. That totally works. Anyways, now the 2 easiest enemies of the area is the stray dog, for one. It's your basic, it's kind of like a goblin from Final Fantasy, kind of. I mean, it doesn't really have any special abilities, it just has a really low HP total, and it's pretty much it. Basic attack, it makes you suffer a couple points of damage. That's another thing. It says that you suffer the damage, so it makes you think that, like, it hurts so much. And then the actual goblins of the game, the snakes, in which you can take them out in 2-3 attacks. They only do 1 or 2 damage to you. And, well, the only good thing about them is that they can possibly drop the magic herb. But other than that, they only drop, like, 1 point of experience. No, 2. Okay, unless 2 or 3, I don't really check. So, yeah, not all that great, but at least we leveled up. And this is what leveling up looks like, even though we leveled up once before when we beat the doll. And I leveled up 3 other times when grinding. And every once in a while, you'll learn a new PSI power. They won't always show up in the PSI menu. Those are just ones that you can use outside of battle, but all the ones that you can use either inside or outside of battle will be in that menu in the state screen. It won't tell you which one you learned, so you'll kind of have to look around for it. And I forgot to cut out this battle, hooray. Oops. Oh well. And yeah, the way that you learn magic, there will be a set level in which you learn the magic. For instance, let's say you're learning Life Up Beta, the upgrade to Life Up Alpha. And I'm not sure if this is right, but you say that Nintendo learns it around level 15. And so... wow, I didn't cut out any of these battles. Holy crap, oops, oh well. So, you learn the magic at level 15. But you won't necessarily learn it. There will be a chance that you could learn it. That's what the flea bag does, by the way. It just lowers offense and defense by a little bit. But you learn it at level 15, possibly. However, it might take a couple of battles for you to actually learn it. It's kind of like a roll die, and you won't get it unless you get a 1 or something. I'm not sure if those are the exact chances. They might be higher or lower. But you only have a chance, and it might take a couple battles for you to actually learn PSI. I believe you could also learn more than 1 PSI in a single battle, depending if you got really unlucky with learning some. And there's even a possibility of which, even though you were supposed to learn the PSI at level 16, and yet you're level 35 and you still haven't learned it, that you won't learn it. I mean, that's a very rare occurrence, but it can possibly happen. So really, you could be stuck with really crappy PSI throughout a good portion of the game before you get lucky enough to get the PSI. Now again, that's a very strange and very rare occurrence. However, if you're incredibly unlucky, that's a possibility. More often than not, it'll only take 3 or 4 battles tops for you to learn the spell or the PSI that you wanted to learn from that level. So now what we have to do is our first mission is that Pippi is lost and we must save her. Yeah, still a little bit sick, coughing a little. However, at least my voice isn't all choked up and caught by a frog and stuff like that, like it is right now. I mean, it wasn't that bad. However, it really didn't sound like me. God, I sounded like a chain smoker there. Anyways, let's talk to this guy. Zombie! Okay, so was it Nintendo who was shouting zombie, or was he shouting the fact that he was a zombie? Either way, we're in a battle with a zombie, or rather the pseudo-zombie. A little more powerful, has a bit more HP, a bit more attack, no real special abilities. Charged Nintendo is just a slightly more powerful attack. Really, you just want to make sure that you have around 15 or higher health. So once you get to that amount, you want to heal, because you don't know whether the pseudo-zombie will go before you or not. It's better to play it safe than sorry in this game, especially when you get really far from a save point. Although you won't necessarily game over and lose all of your progress, you will be sent to the last save point, and you will lose half of the money you have on hand that isn't in an ATM. So yeah, and whenever you kill an enemy, you'll get experience, but your dad will also put money into the ATM. Depending how much is depending on how many monsters you kill and what they were. You know, just like regulars, just that you don't get it automatically. You have to go to an ATM and use your cash card in order to get it, as I'm about to no, I'm not going to demonstrate. I'm getting something else for the story that we need. This game isn't necessarily all too linear. Oh, we need $500 for the wooden bat, so I recommend you grind until you can get that. So basically grind until you get $500. But anyways, the story isn't all too linear. I mean, you can do pretty much anything you want in order. There are certain things that you have to do in a certain order, mostly the endgame stuff. However, you can just skip part of it, but you'll have to go back eventually. It's kind of like Metroid, in which you can sequence break. But I'm going to go about this, the general idea. Anyways, we got a canary chick for free, and apparently we can't eat it. So it looks like we're going to need to find some other source of food. Maybe zombie meat. But at least... what was I talking about? So we need $500, and to access this we need the cash card, so we can use it, withdraw, Put 200. We have 277, so I need $233 more. So just continue grinding north of Podunk, which is the city that we're in right now. Or maybe even in the graveyard to the south. However, I wouldn't recommend that until you're around level 6 or 7. You'll find more enemies like the pseudo-zombie and other zombie-type enemies, ghosts, Mr. Bats, but we'll get into those in the next part, because this part is coming to a close. I'm also showing this guy just because he's another zombie that we fought as a story type of guy. He was kind of walking around out in the field. Good God. Most of my voice thing was from fighting back coughs. But whatever, this is okay. I really don't... I enjoy this too much, this whole Let's Playing deal. I mean, the entire time that I was sick, really the only thing that I could think about was, oh man, I wish I could record. And well, that's not the only thing that I was thinking about, but that was the one thing that I really wish I could do at the moment. But it was just awful that I couldn't. So I really do hate being sick, and it's strange too, because this seems to be the year that I've been the most sick ever. I mean, normally I'd be like, swine flu, what's that? You guys are sick? Ha, I'm still healthy and well. Then all of a sudden, here I am, sick for like the 4th time this year. But, yeah. So, the healer's house to the west will help you. He will heal your PP for $18. That doesn't sound all too great. And again, with me forgetting to cut out a battle, wow. I will fix this later on, hopefully. No wonder this video was 2 minutes over time. If I cut those out, it probably would have been 15 minutes. But, oh well. But yeah, he'll heal your magic power for $18, basically. And you could use life ups before you do that in order to get a full heal, basically. Yeah, and can cure stone illness. It's really nothing that you have to worry about. It's a magic spell that very few enemies have that'll basically kill you in one hit, sort of. So with that, I'm going to save, grind off screen a bit, and in the next part we'll get the plastic bat, no, the wooden bat, and save Pippi. So I will see you then. Goodbye. Oh, that's kind of dirty, Dad. Thanks.